Hey everyone, welcome back to AI with Pallavi. Ready to learn another AWS service in just 10 minutes? Let's get started.
Let's learn Bedrock Agents. Now, you don't need a framework, you don't need orchestration code, you don't need to write a React loop. Bedrock Agents lets you build a working AI agent inside the AWS console, hooked up to your APIs and your documentation. So let's break it down. Let's first see what actually is an agent. Now, Bedrock Agent is actually a managed orchestration product that lives in the Bedrock console. It has six major pieces. The foundation model is the brain. You can pick Claude or Nova or Llama. The instructions are plain English rules: who the agent is, what it does, what it won't touch. Action groups are the tools, defined as OpenAPI schemas or function details which are backed by Lambda. Then knowledge bases, which give it RAG over your S3 docs in 2 clicks. Advanced prompts lets you customize the four phases the agent loops through: the pre-process, orchestrate, knowledge-based response, and post-process. Traces show every reasoning step. Aliases give you version deployments. Now, there are specific use cases when you should actually use it. The first one would be booking and transactional assistance, like hotel check ins, flight changes, order modifications. You just define an action group with three or four functions, point it at a Lambda, write an instruction telling the agent when to use each one. The agent extracts parameters from user's message, calls the right function, returns the result. So you can turn on confirm before invoke for destructive actions like cancel or refund. The alternative to it would be writing your own React loop and parameter extraction prompts from scratch. So to avoid that, use Bedrock Agents. Second would be internal Q&A, which is grounded in your docs, like HR policy question, IT runbook, sales playbook, etc. You can just drop your docs in S3, create the knowledge base with Titan embeddings or use an open source serverless, attach it to the agent. You just have to go do the routing instruction and says that use this knowledge base for policy questions, and it would be able to do it. But the alternative would be a little difficult, like you might have to use langchain onto your own rag stack and maintain the chunking, embedding, retrieval code, everything yourself. The third would be hybrid workflows. So in this case, you can use it for insurance claims, IT support, field service, triage, and etc. So these are the major use cases where you can directly use Amazon Bedrock agents. Let's look at the agents console. You can see that there are already some agents present. One is prepared by me where I will show you the demo. Other one is actually not prepared yet because it has some of the configuration left. But this is the console from where you can create your agent. So let's go ahead and see what all features this provides. Let me call it demo agent. It also helps you to do multi-agent collaboration. Let's say you have multiple agents and you can collaborate within those agents. You can create one of the primary agent, which will be an orchestrator agent, then other will be a collaboration agent. So you can enable multi-agent collaboration as well if you need. Now I'm just creating a demo agent and let's see what all details I will have to add. So if this is my agent, I will have to add a description. I will have to create a new service role. So this will be used by this particular agent to call other services as well. Then I will have to choose the model. I can choose any of these models from Amazon, Anthropic, and others. So let me choose this one. Let me apply. Now, these are the instructions for the agent. Now, this is super important, right? What instruction you provide. So, based on the instructions, it will perform the action. Let me show you the instruction I have given for my already existing agent. So, I have given the title. This is an open API spec which I can create. I've given different parts. So, get current date and time. So, I'm telling the summary gets a current date and time, operation ID, responses, how it should work, how it should get the data, right? So all that spec has to be added. So there are some sample specs also provided in the documentation which you can go ahead and use. Now after that, you have to choose additional settings. One is code interpreter. So this enables the agents to handle tasks that involve writing, running, testing, and troubleshooting code. So anything related to code, if you want to add, you have to enable this. Then user input. If you want your agent to get the input from the user and then perform the action, in that case you can mention user input. Right now it's disabled, but if we enable it, we will have to add certain details there as well. Now KMS key, if you want the data to be encrypted, you can do that. Idle session timeout, let's say there is no interaction with the agent for 600 seconds. In this case, the agent will time out. Then you have action groups. So action groups actually tells the agent what to do. Let's say you want an agent to trigger a Lambda function. So you create an action group. So you can define the function details, define the schema if you want. You can quick create a Lambda function, select an existing Lambda function, and there are other features as well. So you can define different action groups as well. In this case, you can define the parameters. Let's say you want to allow to define the object relationship with the action group, right? So if the action group returns something, then only go ahead. So in that case, it will work this way. Now, if you don't want to define action groups, you can go ahead, you can use the memory as well. So it allows the agent to actually retain the conversational context. You can add the knowledge base as well, you can add the guardrail, then orchestration strategy as well. This is a new feature as well, how you want to orchestrate the agents, multi-agent collaboration. So if you want to add it, you can have multiple agents which are collaborating with this. So right now I do not have multiple agents, so in that case I'm not able to collaborate, but you can see if I need, I can define this particular agent as a collaborating agent. So that's how easy it is. If I want to edit, I can have a multi-agent collaboration. I can define a supervisor and supervisor with routing. So supervisor agent is the one which coordinates, right, between different agents. Then you have a collaborator agent, what you want to choose, then what are the instructions for this particular agent. So you don't have to manage the infrastructure, you just have to give the instructions based on the prompts, and you can go ahead and do it. So that's how you can create an agent. Now let's quickly go ahead and see what are the features I have given to my particular agent which is created. So this was the schema. Then I added the session timeout. I've created an action group, disabled memory for now, but there are other features as well which you can enable. Let's look at the action group. So within the action group, I have defined what I want to do. I've defined an API schema. I have selected a Lambda function, the version of the function. Then I have given the action group as well, like what I want to call, how I want to send the request. So all that details have been already added there. So once this is done, you can go ahead and test your agents as well. Let's look at how we can test our agent. So this is my agent, which will help me to identify the date and time. Let me say, give me current date. So it will give me the current date. Now, as soon as it gives the answer, I have the option to trace as well. And there are different features as well present here, which you can use. That this is how it called, the client request ID, other details. So you'll get all the details here in the tracing. So that's how easy it is to identify what your agents are actually doing. Let's look at three things production teams learn the hard way. Let me tell you that. The first tip on cost. Don't run SONAT for every orchestration step. So each loop iteration is a full foundation ML call, and the orchestration phase doesn't need a flagship model. So you can use other models and then upgrade that to a heavier model only for the final response generation. The setting is per phase in advanced prompt. Second tip would be on architecture. Use return control instead of Lambda when you can. So return control actually hands the action back to your application to execute. No Lambda cold starts, no extra IAM policies. It's very easier to debug. Look. Now use Lambda when the agent genuinely needs it to act on its own. For most user-facing app, your code already needs to handle the action anyway. Third tip would be around deployment. So always invoke aliases and never the draft in production. So draft changes the moment someone saves the agent, which means your prod traffic just got an untested config. So cut a version, point an alias at it, ship the alias. One alias per environment. Rollback is a one-click switch instead of a redeploy. So you can use that. So if you have been holding off on agents because orchestration code look like a project, go ahead and try Bedrock Agents. It removes the barrier entirely.
And just like that, you have learned another AWS service in 10 minutes. Hit that subscribe button if you like this video and comment if you have any questions related to this service or if there is any service you want me to focus next. Happy learning!